today. Boy, oh boy. Oh, it's unfortunate I might be finishing this home build in the middle of summer. It basically started in summer. So foundation build in summer of 2020 and finish the house in summer of 2021. So it's going to be painful. But again, shout out to whoever the hell that was who already smacked the thumbs up. If you're watching this, feel free to chime in the chat. Let me know of any questions or comments. I'm going to be working over here on the PVC window buck install. So here it is. This is the window. There's 5 windows for the shipping container home, 5 windows, kitchen windows on the other side. As you can see, the doors and the windows actually arrived. One of the sliding doors had a chip in the vinyl framing, so it was pretty small. But they gave me a $250 refund, so that's okay. Keep the door, give you $250. But anyway, so here's the window for the shipping container. This was installed yesterday. I put this in yesterday using some, what is this here? This is a Loctite PL 3X construction adhesive. It's like a glue. And you basically put it here. This is what I'm installing today. This white frame. Technically, this is a PVC trim. This is technically also called a window buck. It's just the way that they do windows. And the actual window is going to slide inside of this white frame. Here's an example. I'll probably move to this window next. This one obviously is not installed yet. I still have to actually finalize it by putting some of that construction adhesive glue between the angle iron and the PVC board. This system for installing windows, I basically took it directly from another container channel, Containing Luxury. This is a system that he showed, and I'm going to be basically duplicating that here today. A couple days ago, I was doing all the welding. So here is the angle iron frame, and just a bunch of welds all over, inside and out. And I'll tell you right now, this thing is hard as a rock. It just doesn't move. It's just not going anywhere. It's pretty amazing what a little weld can do. But so that's what we'll be doing here today. We're going to be installing the PVC board frame window buck on, well, 2 more windows, basically. 2 more windows. Let me double check the live chat here. Okay, so 2 more windows. I'm going to put this on a tripod here. I think we can get 2 done today. I had to run off to Walmart and buy a bunch of extra clamps, because as you can see, I need about 12 clamps per window to hold it in place overnight while the construction adhesive cures. It takes about 24 hours to cure. So first and foremost, what I'm going to do is, it's been about 24 hours. I'm going to go ahead and remove the clamps on this window. It's been about 24 hours now, so remove the clamp, should be good. And I'll give it a little bit of a test. What's up, Nestor, in the chat? Give it a little bit of a test, see if it should be rock solid. So let's go ahead and take these clamps off. And let me tell you, it's hot as hell today. Now, it should be hard as a rock. There shouldn't be sagging when I take the clamps off. It should be stuck up there. So hopefully, things don't go wrong. Man, it is hot. I tell you. 12 clamps per damn window. So let's find out if this thing is holding the way it should. It should be rock solid. If the construction adhesive worked, again, if you just joined us, this is what I use, Loctite PL3X construction adhesive. So we're going to find out, just removing these clamps here for the first time, we're going to find out if this system is as rock solid as I'm hoping it is. And then we'll be proceeding to install the other two more windows today. I only have enough clamps to do 2 windows at a time. And since it takes 24 hours to cure, I gotta wait until the next day to do 2 more windows. All right, 2 more clamps left. Yeah, it's gonna be hot this summer. It's gonna be hot. But you know, hopefully I'm thinking maybe mid-May, if I'm lucky, the spray foam company will come in here and spray foam this whole thing up. And it'll be a lot less hot in here. Okay, so let's give it a nice, double check the chat over here. Shout out to everybody who hit the thumbs up. Nestor Hernandez says looking good, thank you, sir. Let's give this a little bit of a, you know, see what, let's just feel it, let's feel it. I got this level over here. We got Zach Blickstein in the chat, big fan, thanks for tuning in, thanks for showing up. Got this container home coming together one step at a time. Okay, so here it is, clamp free, 24 hours later. I don't want to get too crazy with it. Everything looks good. I don't see any sagging. It's all very much against the angle iron that I welded in place. Let's give it a little bit of a, let me check out here first. Everything held real well. In fact, let me show you guys real quick. Everything, you know, the clamps were out needed. There's no way. But let me just give you guys a close. I need to be here so I can, there we go. So this is essentially what it looks like. As you can see, the PVC board trim is actually extending into the house a good amount there. And this is all, it's all on purpose. It's all deliberate. And this is what it looks like on the outside. As you see, you know, you've got the bottom piece and it sits underneath the side piece. And, you know, aside from some of the cleanup I got to do here of this construction adhesive, you know, it looks like it's really flush up against the corner. It didn't pull off. You know, who knows how long, you know, hopefully the construction adhesive does its job. And that's what it looks like up top. Got a little bit of a weld up there, but that is essentially what it looks like up top. And there you have it. That's the window. So let's give this a little bit of a shake. And in just a few moments, we'll be going on to install the white trim window buck on the next window. So I think this is going to feel hard as a rock. Yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. I mean, the whole container is shaking before anything else moves. Wow. Yeah, I would call that hard as a rock. So the system works. Loctite PL Extreme. Actually, no, there is no extreme. I just put that in there because it's extreme. Loctite PL 3X. 3 times stronger than ordinary adhesive. Looks like this stuff works well for board to steel angle iron. All right, next. Actually, which one should I work on next? That's the question. We got Blue Skype in the chat. Can you show how big the inside is? How is the amount of space for you? The inside, it's 960 square feet because it's 3 containers. So that's 960 square feet. Sorry about that. Cut off for a second there. We're back. Um, so that is, I mean, uh, you get into the very corner. You know, it's again, it's 340. Where is that? Yeah, it's 340 footers. So it's not a very big house, I would say. It's also not a tiny house, that's for sure. Tiny houses could be, 250 square feet or something. Um, but I'll probably add more in the future at some point. Some people like to add containers on top, but I don't know. I know how much a shipping container weighs, which is about 8,000 pounds. And even though shipping containers are regularly stacked 8 high, I believe, I don't know how I would feel sleeping at night with an 8,000 pound steel box over my head. So I think I might just expand that way, horizontally. I don't know if I'll go up vertically. The problem is that there are a lot of benefits to going up vertically. Namely, that I can just stack a container on top of the containers, and I wouldn't have to make more of these concrete foundation columns. If I extend horizontally out that way, I got to make more of these columns to drop the container on top. So that's more work. You got to dig your holes, you got to run your lines, you got to. If I go up, I can just stack another container right on top of this one. They're stacked 8 high in the shipping industry where they're designed for. So you'd think it could handle 2 stories, but yeah, no. I don't know. Because again, I've cut out so much of the walls. I've cut out so much of the walls of the shipping container, as you can see. That I'm sure, even though from what I hear, it's all in the corners, right? It's all in the corner columns. That's where you got this really thick, steel. That's where the weight is really put on, from what I understand. Again, I'm not an engineer, so don't take my word for it, but that's the way they're designed. So I'm not sure taking the walls out does that much, but I'm sure it has some effect. Again, I'm not an engineer, so don't take my word for it. So yeah, that's the deal there. I might expand in the future. Definitely the goal right now is to at least get the base house done. I think I'm going to start with this window next because I cut these to size yesterday. I cut these windows to size yesterday. I made sure that the PVC boards were at proper size. I had to go into town today. That's why I got into a late start. How many rooms are you looking to have total? Well, if you're talking about the initial phase 1, just the 3 containers, I would probably call it I don't know if it's a 1.5 bedroom, because there is a really decent sized main bedroom, but the second one is quite small. Honestly, I think it's going to serve a different purpose later on. Maybe when I add more containers, this smaller room will just probably be like an office, or to be like a transitionary pocket to the next containers. But again, that's totally speculative. So right now, I'll probably say 1 bedroom and then a fairly small, bare minimum size second bedroom. And of course I have, all that out there, so I have all that out there, so. And to me right now, this is the most precious thing. Being able to step outside of your house and to have some space to breathe. Yeah, that's quite important to me, especially in an age where it seems like it's almost half illegal to leave your house at this point. So it is nice to have some dirt that I can walk around freely on and not have to wear a muzzle, So, it may, I guess, the actual shipping container home itself is not necessarily the most valuable thing to me. Though on a hot day like this, you're damn right you're thankful for some air conditioning. What's up, Josh the Flat Earth Jedi? All right, so let's work on this here. Let me pull this back a little bit. We have to be responsible, okay? We have to live far away from each other and separate. We have to be socially distant from each other. I'm just kidding with that, by the way. Okay, so yeah, these are ready to go. We got these four; they're ready to go. This one, as you can see, there's quite a bow in it because it's a tight fit. But with the clamps and the construction adhesive, I say it's not going to be an issue at all. So let me drag this table over here. Drag this table. Yeah, thanks for everybody for hitting the thumbs up. If you're enjoying this, smack that thumbs up. It's a hell of a level. Level. All right, so yeah, here we are. Here is our window. I'll get closer up in a second. So basically the system is, I gotta take these out real quick. Fucking wasp flying around. Take that one. Take that one. And this one up here is it's so tight that it holds itself in place. I gotta remember this is the top one. This is the top one. The bottom one. So the installation of these is actually pretty straightforward. Let me double check the chat. Looks like a nicely framed picture. Hello, Yolanda, in the chat. Monred Red says, are you doing a well or city water? Well. Doing a well. The well is already done. There it is. There's the well, little white thing sticking out of the ground. There's the well pump house. Blah, 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 whatever. So, yes, well, no city water because there is no city water out here. I'm in the middle of friggin' nowhere. Yeah. Wow, it's hot, bro. It's hot. It's looking really good. Yeah, well, it's starting to feel like with every new step that's complete, it's starting to look more like a house. With every, just cutting the holes out was like a big step forward and making it actually look like a habitable structure. Now with these PVC frame things going in and the angle iron, it's almost like it's getting exponentially quicker. Every new step makes it look way more like an actual house than it did before. Before being giant steel tanks. Yeah. just giant steel boxes. All right, so this is probably going to go fairly quickly if I don't procrastinate too much. I think some people are enjoying the streams. I know that this can get a little bit stale because it's not a time lapse and you literally just got to sit here and watch every single, I'm not cutting out the in-between parts and stuff. But it seems some people enjoy it, so I definitely keep doing it. It's an easy, quick way to document this without spending 400 hours in the editing room making the actual episodes, which I will be releasing eventually. But I'm really trying to get this house done by July, and I don't even know if I'll make that. So I just don't have time to edit the video. So these streams are really quick. I just put the tripod there, press live, and here we are. Shout out to Blue Sky, the chat, super chat. Fix my payment method. Here's some money for your UPS. I am not a simp. Ha ha ha. I don't really even know what that means, but now everybody knows that you're not a simp. So that's great news. Glad we established that. Thanks again, Blue Sky, for hitting the super chat. The Standing Wanderer says, sweat's rolling off you. It's hot, man. It's hot today. What's the inner width of your inside when done? It's about 24 feet. That's 3 8-footers next to each other. Thank God we know that. We now know the truth about Blue Sky. All right. So let's bring our camera in a little closer. Drop the sled. So what I do is I start with the bottom. I start with the bottom board first. Let's put this thing down here. Start with the bottom one first. And pretty straightforward. You just apply the Loctite onto there. Again, construction adhesive Loctite PL3X. Pretty straightforward. Hopefully this thing didn't dry overnight too much. There we go. Get out of here. Pretty straightforward. I'm just going to apply it here. Let me hit the corner with this. I don't think this is a sealant. It's just an adhesive. I kind of saw the Containing Luxury guy. He was using, it almost seemed like he was half using it as a sealant as well as an adhesive. Blue Sky in the chat, gotta go. Everyone donate at least $1. He has been working hard in this channel for a while. Thanks, Blue Sky. Take care. See you later. And this is it. This is fairly straightforward stuff. You're just applying the adhesive. Not too complicated stuff here. And you know, again, just with my bare hands, I gave the other window a shake after curing with this stuff for 24 hours, and it was rock solid. So I think this system does work fairly well. Get that in there as well. Pretty messy stuff, but whatever. Gets the job done, I'd say. So that's that. So we got the bottom. Now we'll just drop the bottom board in place. Give my fingers a bit of a wipe here. Did you get more clamps? Yep, sure did. They got 6 more clamps. Total of 24 damn clamps on this job site. A total of 24 clamps on this job site. It's probably overkill, but it's going to make some things move a little quicker. So again, this is what it looks like. Pretty straightforward. And now we'll go ahead and put the bottom board on. We'll go ahead and put the bottom board on now. All right, this was the bottom one from my recollection. I wouldn't say any side is particularly banged up because some of these will be exposed to the outside. They will be visible. All right, so let's go ahead and drop her in. Got to be careful here. You know, you want to put it in the precise location, but this isn't like some instant super glue. So you can still move around and wiggle it after you put it in place. It's a tight fit, but it's better to be a tight fit than a loose one. Get this side, make sure it's in place. Looking okay, looking all right. Let me just give it a little squeeze. Yeah, I tell you. Yeah, it's a tight fit. It's so tight that it wants to bow a little bit, but it's good enough. It's definitely in there. Let me get the sledgehammer real quick. Shout out to everybody for hitting the thumbs up. This one's gonna need a clamp over here. It's being a little bit this one over here doesn't want to go down all the way. As you can see, a little bit of a gap in the corner there. A clamp should squeeze her down, no problems. But again, outside view, again, there's the angle iron frame that I've been putting in the last few days. This is what it looks like underneath. You can see it extends out past the corrugation. You have this little lip here, and I'll be sealing this with a quad. Don't worry about this. This is actually the heat mark from the weld on the inside. The heat mark from the weld on the inside, kind of that heat coming through, and actually just it causes the paint on the outside to just blow off. But don't worry, I had the settings right. I wasn't blowing holes through it. Anyways, so a clamp will fix that. Should squeeze that down, no problem. So other than that, I think it's just about in the right position. It's not sticking out. There we go. Right exactly where it needs to be. Actually, let me get the sledge real quick. That'll do it. Again, this is PVC. This is made out of PVC. So it's supposed to be basically indestructible. Anyway, so that's in place. We come back here with clamps in a moment. Other than that, this one looks good to go. Next, we'll get the next one. So I've been doing the top one next. That's the way I've been doing it. Top one next. Yep, top one next. Double check the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, good. So yeah, let's this side looks pretty good to me. This side there. So I'll have this side facing out. And then you just take it and you put it in place. I'm going to put a couple clamps in the bottom one real quick, just so that it doesn't move. Doesn't hurt to get a couple down already over here. Let me put a couple clamps in. I'll hit the corner first because it really needed one. Yeah, I'll show you guys the before and after in just a moment. Yeah, it ain't going nowhere. So if you were here earlier, just a few minutes ago, you saw that there was a gap down there. With the clamp in place now, there is no longer a gap, and that won't be. Once the adhesive dries and cures, that ain't going nowhere. So. Put the other clamp on the other side. This stuff is messy, I'll tell you that. Okay, they ain't going nowhere, I'll tell you that. So again, we're installing these PVC frames. Put the other clamp in the middle while I'm at it, because why not? Okay, that ain't going nowhere. All right. Make sure I didn't miss any chat. Are you doing the doors the same way? No, the doors are very, very different. The doors are totally different. The doors, with the windows are going to be screwed in to the steel angle iron reinforcement that I put. They're literally going to screw through the PVC and then through the angle iron. The doors are actually going to be fastened to the internal framing, the wood framing of the house, which is, the traditional way. This is a somewhat unconventional way to do this. But it seems fairly promising so far. Okay, now with these clamped in, Yeah, I made this mistake yesterday. Put the clamp too close to the corner with not enough room there to put the to slide the other one in. So let me readjust that clamp there. I gotta put it close to the corner to press it in, but not so close that I don't have space for the other one. All right, let's do the top one now. Let's go ahead and apply the Loctite adhesive. This is the top of the window here. Smear this excess over here. All right, looks good to me. Looks good to me. Wow, talk about hot as hell out here. So yeah, the doors are going to be a little different. All right, let's go ahead now and grab the next one and put it in place. This is the way I'm going to do it, like that. Quite the gap on the corner there. Just take the sledgehammer and give it a smack. Not much, actually. It's not too much of a gap. That's looking pretty flush. This needs to tap in and up. Now that's going to be a job for the clamp. Okay. So, these top ones, these top boards have a tendency to like do that when you put pressure on them. They don't like to stay nice and level, they like to angle. Not totally sure what that's about. Anyways, it's clamp time because these things will not hold just from the adhesive alone before the adhesive is cured. So let's put some more clamps. Yep, get one here. Yeah, I guess this would be the better way to do it. Now before I fully tighten the clamp, I gotta make sure that the board is in the exact proper location. Putting aside stupid flies. That, yeah. No, it's too much. Definitely too much there. It's a little better. Okay, that's about right. Now let's tighten it. Actually, you know what? Yeah, that works. That's a good idea. The sledgehammer, a couple little taps, and it'll still move the precise location you need it to be, despite the clamp already be putting a decent amount of pressure on it. Defiant smash. What about the temperature in the container home when it is finished keeping it cool in the summer and winter? Yeah, there's this thing called insulation. Basically, every house ever built has insulation, and you just take that amazing pioneering innovation and you use it in a container home. Same exact thing. I'll be using spray foam insulation. More and more I hear professional construction guys on YouTube talk about how they just go for spray foam insulation on any type of home structure. They just say that there's just so many advantages to spray foam that even in traditional construction they say they just prefer to use spray foam nowadays. Okay, that one is in place just where it needs to be. Let me make sure I have enough room there between the clamp and the side to fit this other one. And I do, so that's good. Because the side one comes next now. Side one comes next, so let's change our perspective here. Now we're going to move on to the side. Say shout out again to Blue Sky for hitting the super chat earlier. Really appreciate that. If you guys aren't enjoying the stream, you want to say a little tip or thank you, hit that super chat. I need to put more clamps up here first though. If you can't tell, it's just bowing in the middle. So let me think. Gotta put the clamps up there first. Can't forget that. I like using these C clamps on the corners. So I'm going to continue using these. Here we go with this one. Drop one of the clamps outside. It's okay, I have like 1,000 clamps. Okay, this one needs a little tap in. Just a smidgen. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Let me show you guys what this looks like. Here's the top one. Bit of a weld that I did yesterday on the corners. Of course, same thing all the way over here. Of course, you can see that. You can see how it's sagging here. Of course, I'm going to put another clamp there in a moment. Here's the other side. I think you guys get the idea. Let's put that other clamp in, and then we're going to move on to the vertical pieces. And that'll be a complete window frame system thingy. So, let's get another clamp. Actually, you know what? In the middle, I'm going to use the F clamps, as they're called. Apparently these are called F clamps. They do look like an F. Nice bird singing, says the TJWK channel. Yep, that's right. There's all types of things making noises out here. Let's get this one in. Let's put this last sucker in. Do it in one of the pockets here. Move. Move, you bastard. Okay. Now, the thing is, looks like before I put the middle one, I always have one last opportunity to kind of hold this thing out. it's almost like it wants to bow in two directions. So I'm going to hold it straight and then clamp it in there. There you go. That corrects some of the issue. Put that thing real tight. I have to say, is it just me, or is there like a major gap here? Wow. I'm gonna have to put another clamp. Normally I put about 3 per side, but let me show you. Watch. If I put pressure here. I think I need to put another clamp. I think the reason is last night there was a bit of a strange, there was a weird silhouette on my window, as if there was something outside on the glass. It looked like the silhouette of a rat or something. So I'm like, what the hell is that? I need to go outside. So I was like 10 p.m. It's completely dark out here. I go out with a flashlight and I look around and I don't see anything on the window. But as I'm pointing the flashlight, you know, kind of just pointing it out around and across the ground, I see these little pinpricks of light scattered all across the ground out here. Little pinpricks of little dots of light. And I had one prior experience that made me wonder if those were the eyes of spiders on the ground. And indeed, when I got up close to one of these pinpricks of light, it was a spider. They weren't too big, about the size of a quarter. But you could see in any direction I pointed the flashlight into the distance, you could see 10 to 15 little eyeballs reflecting in my flashlight. Guarantee you every single one of those was a spider. So just with my flashlight alone in 360 degrees, I could probably confirm without a doubt that there were 100 or so, or maybe more, little spiders crawling around out here. They're not big, but they're a little menacing looking. But I thought that was pretty crazy, that just with a flashlight alone, I could identify the location of hundreds, probably 100 spiders, maybe a little bit more than that. In any direction I pointed, as far as I could see out into my lands. It was pretty crazy. Could you put a 2x4 between two to tighten? Yeah, I think you're probably right. You probably could do that. Yeah. What's up, common men in the chat? Thanks for showing up. It's okay. You're in the middle of this window frame install. So going along fairly smoothly. These don't take too long. So I need to put another clamp here. This time I'm going to take one of these, because there's definitely a slight gap there. So let's put another one here. Let me get as over here as I can. Yeah, there we go. That's what I want to see. Yeah. I want to see that adhesive squeeze out. That's how I know I'm really giving it a good. Okay. Now we're looking good up here. Flush. Yeah, the corners are good. Okay, very good. All right, let's move on to the vertical pieces. Pretty straightforward. It's the same exact process. Again, we take our Loctite PL 3X construction adhesive. And this time, I'm gonna move the camera over here. right, let's hit this here. Make sure you guys can see that. I'll start from the top. Right. We may have some live viewers today from TikTok. I put a little shout out on my TikTok page telling people that I was live right this second. So we might have some viewers from TikTok. If you are from TikTok, you haven't already subscribed to me here on YouTube, this is where I'm primarily posting this content. So feel free to subscribe if you want. All right, let's go ahead now and put the vertical piece. This side looks fine. We're going to make this the outside facing part. And we're just going to put it right here. Gotta come in next to the clamp though. And get it out. Wow. That looks like it's almost exactly in position already. This is essentially what that looks like. So it's just the vertical piece right there. It's the vertical piece. Pretty straightforward. Coming close. That was pretty crazy. All those damn spiders out there, man. It's like, I was like, damn, holy hell. Like, I'm like, with all those spiders, I'm surprised there isn't at least a few of them coming into the RV every night. And I wonder if they're mostly at night. Maybe they hide in the sand and come out at night. All right. This one's like perfectly in place, so let's go ahead and get the clamps in. We use some of these 4-inch clamps I got today. Joseph Gendry, are your bottom and top sills slanted out to shed water? They might be, but only incidentally. From what I've seen from 2 other professional container home builders who've done similar angle iron type of situations, they, from what I recall anyways, they're not putting any they're just sealing the hell out of it, bro. They're just putting that quad, and I know technically you could. I'm sure you can put a slight angle, but no, not for this, no. I'm sure it's a better idea to have it, but whatever. The thing is that these angle irons, they're an L shape, and in order for the water to get in through, it would not only have to land on top of the flange that sticks out, but then it would have to come in and then come up, what is it, 2 inches? 2 inches up the other side of the flange that's inside of the house, 2 inches up, and then get into the house. So it'd have to go through the sealant, which it'll probably be sealed on the inside and the outside, and then it'd have to go up 2 inches over the steel flange to get into the house. That's what I remember one of the guys saying. So it seemed like that was a big part of the preventative measure, was just the way that this thing is set up. So I'm just putting this clamp here. All right, that one went in good. Let me, we have a couple over there, I think. The goal here is to get 2 of these windows done today. Get 2 of these done today and leave them to dry overnight. I would do more windows per day, but I only have a certain enough number of clamps. I only have enough clamps to do 2 windows at a time. And then I have to leave them to cure with the adhesive for 24 hours. So that's okay, because it's time to start framing the house. In fact, I'm already starting to get that ball rolling. It's basically time to start framing the container home, you know, putting that wood framing the whole inside of the house. So that's going to be interesting. I have 0 experience in framing, but I imagine it's as easy as measuring precisely and carefully, cutting, and then nailing all pieces together. Obviously, there's other nuances, but I think that's the general essence of it. I'm not sure that, for the most part, I don't think there's going to be anything too confusing. Yeah, so. This one is still perfect. Oh, shit. God damn it. Okay. Kind of tightened the clamp a little too close to the edge of the PVC board. And it was starting to bend into the corner of the PVC board. Luckily I noticed it before I don't know, I don't think it would have like snapped or anything, but you want to, I guess you want to tighten it on some, not too close to the edge. You start just crushing the corner of the board. Okay, so we're needing another clamp in the middle, and then that side is good to go. So let's take one of these bigger ones. Be careful you don't poke your damn eye out with these things. Other than that, I think that one's good. Pretty annoying, but it seems to be demanding more clamps than yesterday. Let me see here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it looks like I can spare a couple more. Yesterday it was just 3 clamps per side, but now I'm noticing that there's, between clamps, there's like a little bit of a, it's like drooping down the board. It's not fully pressed up against it, so. That'll do that one. Okay, one more side to go on this window. So let's go ahead and to the other side. See the last side. So you've got that white trim on 3 sides. We need to put on the last one over there, but it's not really a trim. It's literally the window buck that actually the window is fastened to. Obviously, this is outside. It's outside the house, obviously. So obviously we got to do that one next. And of course, all this is being done in preparation for the window installs. Got to install the windows. It's going to be very interesting because this system of installing windows, the windows can be installed before the house is framed because the windows are not actually going into, they're not being fastened to the internal framing of the house. I have to double check some little things here and there just to be 100% sure, but that'll be the approach. So I don't have to wait till the window framing is in place to install these windows, which will be good because a lot of these openings, there's 5 windows right now, there's 5 openings in this house. you know, you don't want rain stuff getting in. So it'll be cool to kind of, plus it'll be a nice sort of indicator of progress. Um, you know, just to see the windows already installed is gonna be pretty cool. So let's go on to the next one. Once again, if you just started watching, Loctite 3X construction adhesive. That's what this is. Okay. Now this sucker really wants to move as I tighten, so can't have you moving. So just stay where you are. Okay. Okay, I would call that secure. All right, now we just put a clamp up top now. Let me start using some of these as well. I'm missing a bunch more of these clamps here. All right, so let's grab this. These are called F clamps because I guess they look like an F, which I guess makes sense. So this one is already out of place up here at the top. Put that. Okay, let's tighten it up here. Okay. Make sure that it's flush. Looks good to me. Okay. Let me wipe this freaking adhesive off my fingers. That stuff is sticky and slimy. And let's give it our final tighten. Looks good to me. Okay. Yeah. All right, I don't think that's going anywhere. Okay, cool. Another clamp here in the middle. All right, that looks good to me. 24-hour curing. Now, that's it. Let's see. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 clamps. Maybe not 100% necessary, but the last thing you want is for it to cure overnight and not be really pressed up against where it's supposed to be pressed up against. Get a lot of this coming out the back there. Oh yeah, you got a bunch here too. Squeezing out the back. I saw the other guy on the other channel where I got the idea for this from, the Containing Luxury channel, and he was using this almost as like a sealant on this backside. I mean, I don't know if literally as a sealant, but I guess it can't hurt to have some. It basically looked like it was using it as a sealant, but I'm pretty sure this isn't a sealant, though it might effectively be one. But I guess it depends what you're sealing against. You know, if you're expecting this to be a watertight thing, then no. But I think he was only applying it on the inside, so I think in theory this shouldn't ever see any water through here. If water gets to this point into the house, you have failed somehow along the way. So there they are. Let's get this outside view here. You got all four sides in place. Okay. Okay, guys, well, that's it for this stream. I wanted to show you guys what one install looks like. I only have enough clamps to do one other window, and then I have to leave these things to cure for 24 hours. So I'm gonna go ahead and do another window, and depending on how much time I have left in the day, maybe, I don't know, I have some other unrelated house stuff I have to work on. But really, I mean, at this point, I'm gonna start doing actual framing now. Framing the inside of the house with the wood that I ordered. So that's basically, it's here. It's probably tomorrow I'm gonna actually start doing real measurements, to cut real wood, to start nailing together, to start assembling walls. Probably start framing from back there and cover this wall here, cover this wall. The reason for that is I can't do over here. This is where the two sliding glass doors of the back of the house are gonna be. And directly in front of that is where the two sliding doors for the front of the house are gonna be. So front sliding glass doors, and then back sliding glass doors over there. There's a long reason for why I don't want to frame these yet, these walls yet. So we already marked where the cut has to be. You know, take the angle grinder, cut the wall out. You know, we've already measured and marked some of the nuances between the two doors and how that framing is going to work. But I don't want to do this wall because, as you can see, some of the additional lumber I ordered that couldn't fit inside of the 20-foot container over there, storage container. I had to put it over here. So I'm not going to frame this side first because there's a bunch of crap in the way. So I'm going to use this wood. Now I'm going to start framing this wall first, I think. I don't want to do this wall where all three container doors are because this is actually a wet wall. The bathroom's in this pocket here, and I got to use 2x6 lumber because it's a wet wall and there's plumbing fixtures that go through it, and usually you use slightly bigger 2x lumber, so it's 2x6 here. So that's a little bit more of a nuance, and I have to flesh out a lot of the details of the bathroom. So far I've made a lot of progress in that, but I still got to keep fleshing out some of the plumbing details. So I figured, let me not do that first. Let me not make my first venture into framing in a bathroom. Let me not make my life that hard. So this is a standard wall because the window's already cut out. The frames are basically already in place. It's a pretty straightforward 2x4 wall from here all the way to the other side where the back door is. So I'll stop somewhere shy of the back door. So I think it'll be a nice kind of a simple, basic way to introduce me to framing. There are some nuances with the container top rail and all that good stuff. Maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more when I do the actual framing streams. Okay, anyways, I want to say thanks for everybody who tuned in. Thanks again to Blue Sky for hitting the super chat. as well as anybody who got here from TikTok. This is where I do my live stream, so if you haven't already subscribed, do so. And if you hit the bell and you click the all button, you'll be notified every time that I start a live stream. So you'll be able to see these live instead of after the fact. All right, so that's it for now. I'm going to keep going on to the next window. I don't know which one I'll do. Maybe one of those there, I don't know. And get that one in place. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Later.